Yo, what is going on, everybody? Shri Kanase here. So, how to grow consistently with Google Ads. Now, consistency is literally one of the biggest dreams for a Shopify dropshipper. It could mean consistency with sales, it could also mean consistency with profits, but regardless, dropshippers do want some kind of sustainability when it comes to running their Shopify stores. While everybody loves to deal with crazy highs in profits, these same people start to doubt whether dropshipping is worth it, whether it's worth even running a e-commerce business once they start facing some losses with their business. And unfortunately, that's just how business works. There's going to be a lot of ups and a lot of downs when it comes to e-commerce or just business in general. But what can you do exactly to grow a little bit more consistently so you're not just basically throwing your money in the air, but rather growing with a proven formula? Because I'm going to be going over a 5-step formula for you guys, which I personally use to grow month over month and year over year with Google Ads. So let's just get right into it. The first thing you'll have to do in order to find any type of success with these 5 steps, however, is to destroy that like button until it turns blue. I promise it's gonna take just 2 quick seconds. It's gonna help me out and let me put out even more videos just like these ones. Plus, comment down below what kind of issues you're facing with your Shopify store. I'm going to be answering every single comment down there, so be sure to leave a comment. But the first thing is, when it comes to growing consistently, that you want to be starting off with the decent sized campaigns. Now, before even diving into this, let's go on over to my Google Ads account to go over some of the data that I've been working with since the start of this Shopify dropshipping store and this Google Ads account. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the time frame to all time, because I want to show you guys how this store was able to consistently grow over a year period. So we can see that this store and this Google Ads account basically started spending in January of 2020, basically in the beginning of last year. And month over month, basically, we have seen a steady growth in terms of the cost. Now, of course, this does also come with a lot of sales as well. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way down to show you guys how much in sales this store was able to do. So in total, for all time since last year, we spent roughly $221,000 to get back roughly $1,134,000. So that's an amazing ROAS, about a 5.12 return on ad spend. Of course, this is not a real number. The number is actually higher, but for this purpose, we're just going to assume that it's 5.12. So an amazing ROAS. I'm looking at the cost. I was able to grow this Google Ads account steadily over time. And this is exactly how Google Ads works in a nutshell. A lot of people think that, like Facebook, you can achieve crazy results with Google as well, meaning you can go from doing about $1,000 a day to $10,000 in a matter of a day or so. And while that is definitely possible, it is highly unlikely when it comes to Google. With Google, slow and steady wins the race, as you guys can see. Slowly spending more and more over time based on the return on ad spend that you're getting is actually the way to go. Do not mistake this for Facebook ads, because you will suffer and your ROAS will also suffer. So first things first, you want to start 2 general testing campaigns at a decent sized budget. Of course, the minimum budget I recommend is about $25 to $30 a day or more. But if you have the means of having a higher budget per day, or if you have a lot of products in your store, I definitely recommend starting at maybe $50 to even $100 per day. Sure, it may not be the most profitable campaign ever in the beginning, but the faster that you get your data, the faster that you're going to be able to scale your store. The main reason why it took me a little bit long to scale this store to where it is right now is simply because I started off at a very low budget. I wanted to take things gradually and focus on the profits only. But if you want to also focus on the profits while increasing sales much faster than I did, start at a higher budget. But this brings me to the next point, which is the bid. You want to start at a competitive bid as well, because do anything lower than this and sure, you might get a lot of clicks, but there's going to be a problem when it comes to the sales. Do anything higher than this and you're going to be getting a bunch of clicks, even sales, but it's not going to be profitable. The sweet spot that I've found over months and months of testing is about 40 cents to 50 cents, regardless of the profit margins that you have for your products. Now, if you're of course selling really high ticket products like 2,000, 5,000 and so forth, then maybe increase this bid just a little bit to 60, 70 cents. But otherwise, anything below that, just keep it at 40 cents to 50 cents. But note that I said 2 general testing campaigns. This does not mean that you start 2 general testing campaigns at this bid. One of the general testing campaigns, you want to be starting at a much lower bid of 10 cents. I always go over this in my other Google Shopping Ads videos, so if you're not really sure what I'm even talking about, be sure to check those out. I have a whole Google Ads playlist, which you can check out on my channel. But that is the first step to maintaining and growing consistently with Google, and that is starting your campaigns the smart way. let's move on to the next step, which is adding new products consistently according to the trends and according to the criteria and metrics which I have laid out. A lot of people think that once you have your initial set of products ready to go with Google Ads, that's basically it. You don't need to be doing anything else and you can start getting sales right away from those 5 or 10 products. But here's the thing. What if those 5 or 10 products which you think may have been winning products actually end up to be losing products and none of them get you a sale? That means pretty soon they're all going to be excluded from your campaign and your campaign is not going to have any products to run ads for. So this is why it's so important to be constantly adding products to your store. This is basically a never-ending process when it comes to Google. Sure, it is definitely a pain to be adding certain number of products every day, but this is going to lead to a bit more profitability and a bit more consistency for you. At least this is not like Facebook where you have to test product after product and every single product you test you're going to have to spend a certain amount of budget on before you know if it's a winning product or not. It's somewhat the same with Google. However, Google's system is very, very smart. It's going to test multiple different products at one time, so you don't have to test different products one by one, and that is the beauty and that is where you save a lot of money with Google. But normally for me, I like to add about 5 products a day. This entirely depends on you. I do e-com full time, which is why I'm able to do 5 or more per day. But whatever number you think of, just think of this. X number of products per day keeps bankruptcy away. And that's how I like to think of it. I like to think of it as 5 products per day keeps bankruptcy away. And that lets me add these 5 products consistently without slacking off. Because I personally know that if I start slacking off with adding new products, it is going to directly take a toll on my business. Once my old winning products die down, I may not have new winning products to replace them. So I always consistently add new ones. So I'm always ready to keep on getting sales. I'm always making money every single day because of this step. But it's highly important to growing consistently with the Google Ads. And this brings me to the third step on the list, which is optimizing every 7 to 14 days. One surefire way to kill your campaigns is to optimize every few days, and that number could be less than 7 days. So if you try to optimize your campaigns thinking you're doing a great job by doing it every 3 days or 2 days, all you're doing is just killing your campaign every single day. And that's simply because Google Ads takes a lot of time to process properly. It takes a lot of time to gather enough data to work properly. So if you constantly make tweaks on it every few days, what's happening is that you're basically restarting the learning algorithm for your shopping campaign. When you restart that, it has to start from zero. And you may think that you have spent a certain amount of money on the campaign and it should be smart enough. That is not true, because every significant change that you make basically makes it restart to adapt to the new changes. So what you want to be doing is minimizing those changes, maybe doing all of the following changes which I'm about to mention on one given day, every 7 days or every 14 days. For me, even though my budget is over $500 per day on some of my campaigns, I still make changes on that campaign every 14 days or so, because I personally know the more changes I make on the campaign, the more screw ups are going to happen with that campaign. So what I do is the following every 14 days. I do product exclusions, meaning getting rid of all the products which spend over a certain profit margin without sales, getting rid of all the keywords which spend over a certain amount without any sales, and also the same for devices and audiences. If, for example, mobile phone is working really poorly on my Shopify store, I may decrease the bid by 5% or 10% and then go on my website on a mobile device to see what's going on, what's the issue with the store. For the audiences, I like to do retargeting within my cold traffic audiences. So you can find more info on that on one of my videos, which I released recently. But audiences is also where I decrease or increase the bid depending on the ROAS and depending on the results that I'm getting with that audience and with that following device. But if you want to make any of these changes, and I recommend doing all of them, you want to be doing it on one given day. So every Tuesday or something, you want to set up a schedule of going in and excluding all the bad products, keywords, lowering or increasing bids for devices, audiences, and so forth. What this is going to do is that once you make those changes, the next few days may be a little bit rocky for your shopping campaign, but it's going to recover just as quickly. And once you let it run for another 14 days or so, that's when it's going to really pick up with the new changes and perform better than before. Usually if it doesn't perform better than before, that means you made a change which may not really be beneficial for your account. So you may think about reverting that change and going back to what it was originally. But that is the third step to actually growing consistently with Google Ads. This brings me to to the fourth step, and that is focusing on your merchant center account. A lot of people, once they get approved for their merchant center accounts, simply forget about it. They think that that was the main step with the merchant center. Once that's done, they don't have to worry about the merchant center anymore. That is far from the truth, simply because with the merchant center, you're going to be constantly adding new products, and every so often, you're going to see that there's a few errors popping up on your merchant center account. These errors could be in the color red or the color orange. Regardless of what color it is, you want to make sure that your error amount is at or close to 0, because the lower the amount of errors you have, the cleaner that your feed is, and Google is going to notice this and promote your ads at a lower cost compared to somebody else with 100 different errors. Think of the merchant center and the products within it as the lifeline of your Google Ads account. If there's a lot of errors within the merchant center account, meaning a lot of health issues, your life is going to suffer in terms of the Google Ads account, because again, merchant center is the lifeline, basically the beating heart of the Google Ads account. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on getting those errors as close to 0 as possible. But this brings me to the last point on the list, and that is having different campaign types. A lot of people just start the 2 general testing campaigns, which I recommend, and then that's all they literally do for months and months. That is not something you want to be doing. I highly recommend that you take whatever I teach with a grain of salt, but apply your own methods, apply your own techniques, and try different things out, because what works for me may not always work for you. You want to be trying out different campaign types, and that means maybe trying out smart shopping campaigns on certain products, which are winning products. In my case, what I do is I try smart shopping campaigns on the losing products, and a lot of the times this actually makes the losing product a winning product. I would have never found out about this had I not tested this method before. So that's why I always recommend that you try different things out, because you can definitely find a different strategy that works well for your ad account. Next thing is trying manual CPC with enhanced CPC for some of the products which you want to scale. This is not really the way I scale anymore, because I believe there are better ways to scale. However, this can definitely work really, really well depending on the type of bid that you set for the campaign. And this is something you're going to obviously want to test before you kind of jump to conclusions. Every product is actually going to have a different bid that works for it. So you want to try different things out before deciding what works for your account and what doesn't work for your account. But the final thing that I recommend is that you definitely look into trying SKAG campaigns. These are single keyword ad group search campaigns, where whatever winning keyword you have within your Google shopping campaign for a given product, you simply create a search campaign for that same exact product, and then you only run that campaign for that given keyword, nothing else. I've seen this work time and time again, which is why I highly recommend that you definitely give this a go, especially if it's already a winning product for you with your shopping campaign. This is literally one of the easiest ways to make extra money with your winning product. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of different things that you can be doing with your Google Ads. Some of the more intense things I do go over in one-on-one Google Ads mentoring. So if you're looking to get one-on-one Google Ads mentoring with me personally, be sure to send me a message on Instagram at Dedicated Young. I do take new students every single month. But if you found any type of value in this video, smash that like button and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.